good morning, everyone, everywhere in the world. This is Chief Obidike and co-host Joel Spears. Good morning, everybody. Good morning, my brother.
Good morning.
Here we go again. We are at the New Harbor Studio. If you ever want to get in touch, www.newharborstudio.com. This show is called Let's Talk About It. It's simple. We have an awful lot of things to talk about. The problem is that people are not talking about issues. And we are here to talk about issues no matter what the nature or the issue is all about. So we welcome you to another day here in Maryland. It's a little bit not too cloudy. It's cloudy. It's rainy. Misty, and it's not one of those days that you have energy to say the sun is giving you energy. But anyway, this is Let's Talk About It. Hey, if it's worth talking about, let's talk about it. That's what it is. You need to get in touch with us. Text us. Do whatever you have to. www.letstalkaboutit.com. Press the like button. Subscribe. Ring the bell. Jump up and down. Whatever you have to do so that we can continue to bring the show that is of interest to you, to me, to everybody. God bless you. And here we go. My brother, yesterday I went to the cancer walk. It was a 5K cancer walk, and it was really good. Got a little bit of a weathery, dampened thing, but it's amazing how people that have cancer, women, men, children that have cancer, will just dread and forget about the weather and do something to help to raise funds. The ASA Women USA yesterday, in that bad in the weather as it was, still went and walked. And they walked 5 miles. Each woman, each man, they walked around the block. So it's just amazing how the 5-mile walk was. It was really interesting, and not only that, it was successful.
Excellent.
The women, and this is an effort to try to raise funds. Raise funds for the construction of a hospital in a place called Nnewi in Igbo land.
Oh, and where is that?
That is in Igbo land.
Okay.
And they are trying to build a hospital.
That's West Africa, right?
That's in West African, west of a country I don't like to mention, but I will mention it. Now, you know the word, you know the one. If you don't know, it's called Nigeria. East and south of Nigeria. Igbo land. And these women are very adamant about building a hospital. They made a promise that within the next 4 years, that they will have the hospital up and running.
If there's anybody out there who's got a couple $1 billion or, I don't know, millions of dollars, you can call us.
Call them. The ASA Women USA, that's their name. ASA Women Organization, and they are a cancer organization trying to help to eradicate that ugly disease.
Beautiful.
And I commend them for the work that they did yesterday. Dr. Uche Ume is the president, and all her staff were there. It was really nice. It was really good. So, I just want to make sure that we mention them and what they have done. So we will now go and start to talk about something that is of interest to you, something that is of interest to you, and something that is interest to all of us. In America, we're going into the welfare state. In the black community, good or bad, Joe?
It depends on your perspective. If you want to hold people hostage, then you make what you give them their sole means of support. Then you can control them by saying, hey, if you don't play the game with me, I take it. So that's basically, unfortunately, the way that I think that the black community in particular is being held politically hostage.
Hmm.
So in order for, and you seem to see it in almost every political campaign, oh, if the opposing group doesn't or gets into office, they're going to cut your welfare benefits. That's all they need to hear.
So all you black folks out there that are really receiving all this welfare money, what you're trying to tell them is that the political machine, Democrats or Republicans or independents, are saying clearly to them, you don't do as we tell you to do. Down goes your welfare money.
There's an old saying I can recall, and many of you probably heard it too. It says something like, if you give a man a fish, he'll eat for a day. But if you teach a man to fish, he'll eat for a lifetime. Fortunately, welfare tends to be, you eat for the day, and then you have to depend on the graciousness of the host, in this case the government, to make sure that you maintain a roof over your head and food on your table.
And so that's the way it is. If well, I'd rather you teach me how to fish and I'll feed myself. And I think the black community needs to do more of that.
If it doesn't change soon, I mean, now you have new groups coming into the society who are now competing for those same benefits for them to get started, so to speak. So what does that is that a benefit or is that a threat to the black community?
Well, we need to talk about that, and that's exactly why this show is called Let's Talk About It. Immigration. There's a lot of new people coming into the country. And there's a lot of things that is happening when you step your foot into the United States and you say, oh my God, this place is so big. We're going to do well. But let's see, wait for it. Here we come. We're going to talk about it. We'll be right back. I know that there are some people very angry, Joel.
Oh.
Some people are mad as hell.
I'm not going to take it anymore.
And they are simply standing firm and saying, we are not going to take it anymore. There's an awful lot of people that are flowing into this country, and somebody is making it happen. They are floating in millions. And as you have mentioned before, taking jobs. Baltimore County, Baltimore City, you can buy a house now for $1. Dilapidated as it is, you have to stay in the house. We didn't get a chance to talk to the real estate people. But what is this about this immigration? Well, I mean, let's talk about it. That's the name of this show. We need to continue to talk about it before it hits us and we're not ready for it.
I think the black community of this country has questions. Look at the quality of education that we're receiving. Our children are now coming out of high school with a 13% literacy rate. Many of them can't even count change. I don't think that we signed on for that. I don't think that any of the social programs have done anything other than to strengthen political parties. Because it's an extortion. It is literally saying, we're going to put a roof over your house, feed you, and provide you with all these things.
As long as
you vote for us. And, the communities over the past 70 years have become literally dilapidated shells. People are, out of Baltimore, I think, 200,000 people left Baltimore in the past 10 years?
An exodus of a different kind.
Yes.
Well, people are coming in from South America, Guatemala, and, nobody's against anybody looking for a greener pasture. But here's people coming in from South America, and people that are in Baltimore State are leaving.
You know, as the old proverb says, you know, look, if you have a front door and your door has a lock on it, it's for a reason. If someone comes to your house, they knock first. You then have to decide whether that person is someone that you would like to let into your home.
Into the house, yeah.
If you come home from work and there's people sitting in your house, that's a problem.
Might even claim the house.
Right. So what does that mean as far as our society? We now have people who are coming into the society from around the world, not just a few people, but into the millions.
Millions and millions of people.
These people have to be fed, clothed, medical needs, you know, their children need support. So where's all this money coming from? You know, the states are saying we can't handle it, and for some strategic reason, they're ending up into areas overflowed
already with population.
Already, and
like New York,
right,
New Jersey, California,
and those states are literally now taking funds from the black community. You know, they're closing schools, recreation centers, and things like this, literally, so that they can house the new immigrant class.
It's like a locust.
Some people have said that. I mean, it's out of control, and there needs to be some order. You just don't bring in or invite in or turn a blind eye to millions of people. The black community, who has traditionally been the number 2 group, is now all of a sudden shrinking down to the 3rd position. That's just within the past 10 years. So what does that mean as far as the traditional benefits and things that we have received? Now, that group that literally just came across the border is now number 2.
So you're telling me black people that are on welfare, on social service benefits, getting all the good stuff that they have been normally getting, and all of a sudden now, is there a possibility that they'll lose it?
Oh, it's not only a possibility, it's happening. Because you can look at in many of the communities, they're shutting down recreation centers and all these areas that have been in our communities.
They're now talking about adding some makeshift schools or classrooms in some schools because there's just not enough room for all the students that are going to.
So I don't think it's a big shock that it's happening in the black communities. It's not happening in the
suburbs. And maybe that's where it should go. Why shouldn't it go to the suburbs?
So, like I said, what does this mean to us? You know, there's tremendous ramifications. Our economy is sick. It's not doing what it should do, and our communities are the first one to be the casualty in this kind of war. I don't see a positive outcome when you have a group coming in, not by the hundreds, not by the thousands, but by
the millions.
That's impossible. We are literally in a cultural shift, which will make the black community potentially politically and economically irrelevant.
This is why we want to do. This is why we're doing this show. Let's talk about it. Hey, let's talk about it here at the New Harvest Studio. We're doing it, we're talking about this issue, and we know, as a matter of fact, that it is important to the various communities around the state, around the country, because this is impacting on everybody. Millions of dollars. Who's spending this? Where's the money coming from?
I don't know. That makes a good, unfortunately, when you sit back and look at it, that's not where is it coming from, who is it being diverted from, should be the answer.
Oh, so it's being taken away from some people and being provided to some other people. This is going to be a problem.
It already is, and it's getting worse day by day.
So who are the politicians the ones doing it? Because we're going to go into the political process now. We're going over there to talk about who's running for election. And you should know who's running for Congress, who's running for Senate, who's running for president. We're going to talk about that as we move forward and slowly come around to the political talk issue. We'll be right back, folks. Don't go away.
are you? What is wrong with you? The food not good enough for you? You're nothing but trouble. You hear me? You're useless.
Brothers and sisters, ladies and gentlemen, we are coming to you from the New Harbor Studio here in Oxon Hill, Maryland. This show is called Hey, Let's Talk About It. Frankly, I'm sure there are a lot of people saying talk about what? There are so many issues that are impacting on our lives that we need to talk about. We just finished briefly talking about immigration and the influx of people coming into the country and the outgoing of people leaving Maryland and going someplace, or at least Baltimore City. We don't know who's manufacturing or who's controlling this. I know, Joel, what about the political players? I mean, are they not, don't they have their hands in this problem that exists for us?
Oh, of course. When you sit back and look at it, I think in my lifetime, I've been here for a little bit, we've kind of pushed away from each other. There was this comfortable middle between the Republican Party and the Democratic Party. And all of a sudden, over the past generation, there's been this slow shift. You're either on the far left or you're on the far right. And that has caused a stalemate. People are sitting back and saying, if you're not on my side, you're on
the other side.
You're on the other side. And now doesn't just seem to be, it's dysfunctional.
Look, there's a lot of elections going on. In Baltimore City, you have the mayor's election. And they don't even mention some council people that are also running, but there are some other candidates running for public office there. And Baltimore City is not the only place. It's happening in other counties too. There's a congressional seat that is running now, or candidates running for office. There's a Senate seat. Well, a lot of Congress people, I don't know who these people are, and you don't know who they are. We could show you who is running, but you need to get involved and make sure that you participate in this primary. It's on now. It started on the 2nd. So you can actually go to your polling place and cast a vote. But what's your thought?
Well, I think it goes back to the fact that we're a one-party state. And we sit back as a society and we criticize dictatorships where you have one-party state in Russia or China. Yes, where you have that. And unfortunately, let's face it, if you are running in any position where you oppose the Democratic Party, which isn't the Democratic Party anymore, you literally are on the out because the society, the game has been fixed. One side is in control of making sure that everything is fair when it's obviously not.
Let's take a look at the Senate. Now there's this young lady called Also Brooks running for the Senate. The former Governor Hogan running for the Senate. And then there's this guy in the Democratic side that likes to call black people jigaboos. Look, I'm sorry, but now they call it a J word. They don't want to use the N word, so they said he actually apologized for calling referencing to black people as jigaboos. He wanted to say boogaboo.
Well, then he shouldn't apologize for something he didn't do. If you apologize,
then you did it. Let's be honest about it.
That's the way I was.
What you apologizing for calling black people? It fell out of his lip before the head caught up. Or did it come out of his heart? Go to the lips? Was it real? Jigaboos?
Well, you're not.
Why is black people so easily forgiven? I can't understand that.
It's our nature. I think we're just too kind as a people, and every time we've shown kindness, it seems to come back on us. You know, that's just our nature. I wish we.
Well, it's our nature to be insulted and forgive, to be slapped and forgive, to be incarcerated, to be unjustly treated, and we forgive. That's our nature.
Turn the other cheek.
And we ain't got but two. Yeah, you know, you slap. Well, you know, I kind of remember some hardcore individuals. Somebody said, if you slap me on one cheek, by the time you get to the other cheek, I'll send you to your grave. I think somebody said that. I'm not too sure, but you know, I believe that somebody said it. But that's one of the things, you know. Oh, here's another one. The presidential election. You know, now you got president election coming in, and it's on a ballot. It's on your ballot. If you got a ballot at home, look around. You know, if they've already called you a Democrat, that's a Democrat. So you have to vote. But if you don't want to, don't vote. That's a choice too. But that one on the presidential level.
Go ahead.
If you don't vote for me,
you ain't black.
You ain't black. These are two white people telling me that. You know, I'm one of them is saying if I don't vote for him, what you're thinking about that?
Well, I come from a family of traditional Democrats. I voted Democratic all my life. However, I don't recognize this Democratic Party. It has gone way to the left, very socialist. And when you look at their report card of what they have done in my community and throughout the country, I would give them a resounding F-.
F-? You know, when's the last time students get F- this nowadays too. But
they call my house and they say, help us, get us elected, and then and when they get elected, the last time we hear.
We'll be right back, folks. Don't go away.
I just remembered it's election day. Are you going to vote?
I don't know. I don't think I'll have time today.
Millions of eligible voters in America never make it to the polls or even register to vote. When you don't vote, you're letting other people make decisions for you and pick the things your taxes will pay for. Voting is more than a civic duty. It gives you a voice about the priorities and the future of your community and our nation. Voting gives you a seat at the table.
We, Joe, have come to a point now that we can really touch on so many other things. We just ask you to please do us one favor. This is Let's Talk About It. Hey, let's talk about it. www.letstalkaboutit.com. We'd like you to like what we're doing, subscribe to what we're doing,
and push the notification bell.
Push that Durham bell. And if you need something to send to us, email us at www.letstalkaboutit. And I'm sure that you have something to say as we move forward and improve on the show, because we're relatively new, but I guess we're not doing too bad. You know, we're doing good.
Room for improvement.
There's room for improvement. Now, we've talked about the immigration issue, and that's a big issue. Now we would like to go to Africa. And Joel, this organization called ADF. As you're saying, there are people rolling in from South America, people leaving Baltimore City. Well, in East Africa and West Africa, there's a little small place called Alibo. And this Alibo, this is Igbo land, a territory of Igbo people. They are asking people who have left the country because of war. The Biafran-Nigerian war took more than 3 million lives. But people have been, the Europeans, the British, that amalgamated the country, have been killing people in that area since 1945. So ADF is asking people to please come back home. That is Igbo people, because Igbo people are all over the world. I mean, everywhere in the world. And they are consistently helping other countries, other ethnic people, to develop their countries, but their own country, in which they have a country, is underdeveloped. So they're asking people to come back home.